The last few months of 2025 returns us to the watery depths of Neptune in Pisces. Neptune re-enters Pisces on October 22nd and will stay in this final sign of the zodiac until January 26, 2026. So we have 3 months of Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. Now this is significant for a few reasons. One is that 29 degrees is the very end of the zodiac wheel. 29 degrees of Pisces is where there are significant endings and completions that have already been underway. They've already been in process. And at that final 29 degree point, they dissolve into a void. It's a more fluid ending that then brings us to the beginnings of 0 degrees of Aries. So with Neptune moving through this last degree point of the whole zodiac wheel, the world is undergoing some significant closures and endings that are meant to be phased out. Now, we've already had this energy in motion. It's already been very strong. So we're moving through some final chapters here. And there's an added seriousness because we also have Saturn in Pisces, the late degrees of Pisces. Saturn is boundaries, structures, responsibilities, terms and conditions, the rules, what we have to take care of, what we have to abide by. So we're moving through some serious closures and endings, and we're going to need to be practicing what it means to let go, forgive, release, and close out something, perhaps at a very personal level for you, depending on how these energies are working in your chart. Now, I do want to bring it into a perspective of how much you have spiritually evolved, developed, and grown since 2011. 2011 is when Neptune first entered Pisces. And now, 14, 15 years later, Neptune in Pisces is moving on and will then stay in Aries starting in late January 2026. So, look at how much you have evolved in your intuition, your spiritual gifts, your psychic abilities, your ability to move with the flow of life. When things are out of your control, we can feel powerless at a human level, at a mental level. And so this Neptune in Pisces has brought about things you've had to let go of. You've had to stay adaptable and open to change, and you didn't know where it was going. You didn't know where this would lead, and it could have felt like you were just floating in the middle of the ocean as life transitioned you into new experiences. Neptune in Pisces can also bring up loss, like what you had to surrender and give up in order to move on your path, in order to move forward. This would be a beautiful time to acknowledge yourself and everything you've been through that's required you to trust those bigger unknown transitions, to acknowledge your ability to be adaptable, and to also let go of things that you didn't want to let go of. But it serves a purpose. And I always think of this Neptune as your higher self, and your higher self is traveling with you, has a higher perspective, a higher knowingness, and ultimately is saying you don't need this for the road ahead, or this won't be necessary. You've packed too much. Your luggage is over the weight limit. You've got to empty this out and let go of some things here. So these would be some big themes to look at in your life since 2011, because now Neptune is going to move on. But over these final months in Pisces at 29 degrees, you might be trusting a void. You might be in a huge unknown. There could be some things that you're already feeling and sensing are arriving. You probably got some clues around them when Neptune was in Aries. That was late March 2025 until October 2025. So there were probably things like whispering to you, exciting you, showing you the new chapter that awaits. But now Neptune returns to Pisces and brings our consciousness to endings and clearing out what's maybe blocking you from moving ahead. But the blocks in Pisces are energetic. They're based in a part of yourself that needs to surrender and let go. And I always see it as it spirals up. Pisces wants us to spiral up, to see things from a higher vantage point. And as we do so, it allows us to lighten, to become lighter. I think this also beautifully supports the light body, crystalline energy fields, purifying ourselves, being in a deeper relationship with our soul, our intuition, our spiritual senses, where we have to navigate through the world based on what we're feeling and sensing without proof or evidence. So all of this comes up as a point of mastery, to acknowledge how much you've beautifully grown since 2011, but to also know that you will be using some of that mastery as 2025 ends and 2026 begins. So this could be a time period too, where the Saturn in Pisces is asking you to stand strong, stand clear. It feels too like there could be an area of your life where you have to be on your own. That you could feel like you've been pulled out or pushed away from others. You have to stand strong in who you are now and allow that to be enough for this phase. It's interesting because Neptune in Pisces dissolves boundaries, but Saturn wants boundaries. So there could be confusion around what you need to do on your own, where you need to apply boundaries, what boundaries are not effective, are not working. All of that can come up with these energies too. Strong Pisces energy can lend itself to more confusion, disillusionment, escapism, feeling powerless, not knowing what to do. But what I think is important about this time period with both Neptune and Saturn back in Pisces is that they've already been in Aries, already providing you with that insight of the next thing, the next adventure, the new chapter, but also pushing something out that we're meant to see. Because whatever has been hidden in Pisces, it is brought to the light of day in Aries. And in Aries, it's right there. So there's something that has been presented that we have maybe needed to grapple with or sit with or figure out, understand, whatever the case may be. And as these energies return back into Pisces, we return into those Pisces realms with new awareness, new understandings, and perhaps even more to trust. The Pisces and Aries energy both reinforce our ability to trust. Trust what we can't see, but to trust ourselves. Trust what is unknown that will show up in divine timing, and then to trust ourselves that we'll know how to navigate and get there and take care of what we need to take care of. So there's this very interesting dance that Saturn and Neptune have been doing between the Pisces and Aries energies. It also signifies those big endings that I mentioned, and then the new starts that occur. And those will really come in February, when we have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, which is a world point. So whatever is coming through for you right now, it's part of your soul assignment to complete it, heal it, close it out, and essentially set yourself free to move forward. And that'll look different for all of us. You'd want to look at where you have late degrees of Pisces in your astrology chart, as this is where you are closing out a chapter in your life and some big spiritual growth lessons. So I hope this gives some good insights into the bigger themes of right now. I'll be talking about this more because it is a big deal at both a personal and global level. I also did a podcast for you back in May 2024. So yes, a year and a half ago or so, discussing Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. That's because Neptune was first at 29 degrees of Pisces from May until August 2024. So that might be interesting to listen to as I go into more of the themes and more things that you can look back on and you'll see in a different way, especially as we close out 2025. So thank you for joining me as always here on my YouTube channel. I'll be back with some more videos for you soon. As always, thank you for your subscribes and your likes. And I would love to hear in the comments what you've been learning about this Neptune and Pisces energy for yourself. And I know that could be a big topic, but if there's anything specific that you want to share, that you have beautifully mastered and learned to trust even more, I know that it would help other people to read your wisdom and read about your experiences, because Pisces energy is also about unity consciousness, our oneness, and how we're here to support each other. So please feel free to share in the comments if you'd like. Thank you so much for your time.